Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Anything that we can find out, we do find out, and we try to put the best people on board.
The Moorhead School District found a loophole in the law and is trying to short-circuit it. It's a law that overlooks school bus drivers when it comes to sex offenses.
As it stands now, the school bus driver hauling your kids around could be a sex offender. They'd have to be convicted of a sex offense crime in order to be disqualified. If the case is still in progress, they can drive the bus.
Tonight, Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer reports that Moorhead runs its own background checks on all potential candidates and has what you need to know when sending your kids off to school.
They're supposed to keep your kids safe. You trust them every day to bring your child to school. But what if that bus driver was a sex offender? A loophole in Minnesota allows some sex offenders to get behind the wheel.
We do everything we know how to do to make sure that our employees are on the up and up, free from any criminal violations that would put students at risk.
The loophole is tricky. While convicted offenders are automatically disqualified from employment, the ones accused but not yet convicted are eligible.
If we've got an individual who has never been caught or convicted, it's impossible to do a background check on that because we can't know.
We went to a former highway patrol captain. He did some research for us, and he says in North Dakota, there is no state law prohibiting sex offenders from driving school buses. He says the exception is if the offender is on probation. And transportation services don't just hire anybody. Valley Bus offers services for Fargo Public Schools. The general manager, John McLaughlin, tells us that if someone is a sex offender, it's an automatic no. He also says that a candidate must go through a number of screenings and background checks before even being considered. And in Moorhead, it's just as strict.
Felony convictions are automatic disqualifications. Anything doing with child abuse or sex offenses, things like that would be a disqualifier.
Because there is no state law, individual school districts have their own policies, some of which work with transportation services to make the final decision on who they hire. In the FM area, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton says he's shocked to hear about the loophole, and he tells our Twin Cities affiliate he plans on working with legislators who share his concerns.
U.S. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has called for an ethics review of the allegations against Minnesota U.S. Senator Al Franken. A radio news anchor in Los Angeles accused Franken of forcibly kissing and groping her a decade ago. Leanne Tweeden says she met Franken in 2006 before he was elected to the Senate while they were entertaining U.S. troops overseas. One of the skits to be performed featured a kiss between Tweeden and Franken, then a comedian. In a detailed post, Tweeden writes that Franken insisted on rehearsing the scene backstage. She reluctantly agreed to rehearse the line leading up to the kiss, and that's when Franken forcibly kissed her. She also writes that Al Franken groped her without her consent while she was sleeping in the cargo plane on the return back to the United States. Today, we spoke to locals about the allegations.
Obviously, that's inappropriate, especially for somebody that's in leadership. That's disgusting.
I can't tell if he was actually touching her in that photo. Obviously, it's a stupid photo, and there's no question about the stupid thing to do.
Senator Franken released a statement apologizing for his actions, adding that there was no excuse and that he would gladly cooperate with any ethics investigation. He also said that while I don't remember the rehearsal for the skit as Leanne does, I understand why we need to listen to and believe women's experiences.
Crews are working to clean up a pipeline leak that has spilled at least 210,000 gallons of oil near the North Dakota-South Dakota border. The leak was in the Keystone Pipeline located in an agriculture area in Marshall County, and officials say this is the largest Keystone spill ever in the state. The South Dakota Department of Environment and Natural Resources says they were alerted to the leak at 10:30 this morning by TransCanada after reports of a strange odor in the area. There have been no reports of the oil entering any waterways or water systems at this time. The pipeline has been shut off and the leak has been covered. An emergency response plan has been activated to get more staff and contractors to the site for cleanup, which will take some time.
Just me, but I didn't see any snow, but it certainly felt and looked like it could fall any second today. Let's find out from Hutch if that's the case tonight.
Well, it is brisk out there, and gusty winds continue to buffet the valley and parts of western Minnesota, with gusts over 30 miles per hour continuing this evening. Look at the temperatures. It hit over 70 degrees today in Rapid City. A bucket of that warm air would sure feel nice, but the winds continue to keep us on the cool side. Flakes out to the eastern counties right now, but we see more moisture developing out to the west. This evening we stay dry, and look at the temperature climbing as we head toward the 1 o'clock hour as we continue our warming trend, but those winds will be a fixture in tonight's forecast. We'll have details on that moisture out to the west. It's heading our way, and for some, slippery roads will be a problem in the morning. I'll have the latest on that here in a few moments.
All right, thanks. And make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app. You can keep up with weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so you can plan your day. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free.
This Sunday is World Remembrance Day for road traffic victims, and the North Dakota Department of Transportation invites residents to honor friends or family they have lost in motor vehicle crashes. Remembrances can be shared through the DOT's award-winning Virtual Crash Memorial Wall. The DOT says motor vehicle fatalities are unexpected, which can cause a great deal of emotional suffering for those left behind. The virtual wall allows family and friends to share memories of those lost in recognition of their lives, as well as to help others understand the impacts of fatal motor vehicle crashes. We have a link to the memorial wall posted on our website. Just head to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
It's a swimming pool that Olympic medalists have used. Michael Phelps and Ryan Lochte swam in it for their 2016 Olympic trials. In just 2 short weeks, the Hulbert Aquatic Center will open in West Fargo. Soon, swim teams and the community will be using the Olympic-sized pool. The public is invited to the open house Thursday, November 30th. A ribbon cutting, samples of food, and tours of the facility will be happening from 4 in the afternoon until 8 at night.
High school state tournament action continues in North Dakota, this time on the volleyball court. We'll have highlights later in sports.
Up next, avoiding scammers when it comes to choosing health care coverage.